Setting up a good system for investing your hard-earned money is one of the most important steps you'll take in your journey towards financial freedom. However, there are a few critical steps that we need to take before investing your money into the market that will help maximize your net worth long-term. Now look, I know it's not exciting to do these things. It's more exciting just to dive in day one, start dumping money in the market, and to try to get this thing rolling. But I promise you, these 5 simple steps will save you a lot of time and a lot of money, and they'll get you going in the right direction from day one. And if you're already well on your way to investing, this still may be worth your time. You might find a step or two will help you to optimize your current system to create more long-term wealth for yourself. But before we dive into the video, if you're new to the channel, welcome to the club. I'm new here too. My name is Jeff Teeples, and here I talk about growing your net worth with simple, time-tested solutions. Okay, enough idle chit-chat. Let the list begin. Step 1, establish your financial goals. There's no such thing as a universal blueprint that will apply to everyone for personal finances. It's called personal finance for a reason. They're personal, and a lot of the things that you do and the direction you're going in will be unique to you. And regardless of where you are or where you want to be in your investment journey, it is crucial to set some basic goals to set the stage. But really what we're doing is just establishing a purpose, something to strive for. Regardless of where you're at with your goals, these are going to evolve over time. And these goals don't need to be perfect. Don't stress out over something as simple as this. You just need to get something down to get pointed in the right direction. So your goals could be, I want to retire by the time I'm 60, or I want to retire in 10 years from now. Your goal might be to generate $2,000 of dividend income every month, or maybe to get your investment net worth to $500,000 before you pursue a side hustle full-time. Those are some examples of probably bigger goals. It might be to stop living paycheck to paycheck, or pay your credit card off, get free of student debt within 5 years from now. It doesn't matter how big or small the goal is, and it's not to compare yourself to anyone else. It's just to get you focused and heading in the right direction moving forward. And really, regardless of where you're at right now or where you're specifically going, having a goal, something to stay focused on, it will help you minimize poor decisions along the way. We're never gonna be perfect. We're all gonna make mistakes. I know I've made plenty, but this really will help you consistently make better decisions that future you will be very happy you took the time to clear all this stuff up. Take a minute or two to think about what your next milestone is. You can pause the video if you would like, if you need a little time to reflect. And after you're done with that, we're ready for step 2. Assess your current financial situation. So many people think that their salary factors into their net worth, and this simply is not true. In fact, many people making 6 figures are living paycheck to paycheck. A recent article in Time magazine showed that 52% of people that make over $100,000 a year are living paycheck to paycheck. So if salary doesn't weigh into your net worth, how do you calculate it? Well, it's actually really simple. Your net worth is your assets minus your liabilities. So as far as breaking down your current net worth, you don't have to get too in the weeds on this. You don't have to count every little asset. I could sell that thing on my table over there for $3.12. Like, we don't have to go to that level. Really, when you assess your assets, you could look at the value of your home, if you're a homeowner, the value of your car. And again, this is the current net value, the book value. So if you bought a car for $30,000 5 years ago, and you could realistically sell it for $13,000 today used, that asset is worth $13,000. So in your mind, just pretend like you're liquidating everything and converting it to cash. And that's how you assess the current value of your assets. Other things might be your 401k at work, or a traditional or Roth IRA on the side at a brokerage, whether you've rolled it over from a previous job or started it separately. You could have real estate that you own, cryptocurrency, any asset that you could, in theory, convert to cash. You need to put on your asset side of the equation. And then the other half, the bad half, of course, is the liabilities. So these are usually easier to track. This is just outstanding debt you have. It might be student loan debt, credit card debt, outstanding balance on your home mortgage. This could be car debt. Really anything that you have that you're making payments on is on your liability side. So now it's just as simple as subtracting the liabilities from your assets, and that's your current net worth. And when you do this, if your net worth is negative, don't fret, don't worry. You're actually with a lot of other people. This is not unique to you. And this is step one in fixing this situation. So it is really important and is extremely uncomfortable. I completely understand. But just do this step before we dive into the fun stuff, actually investing your hard-earned money and fixing this equation long-term. Okay, step 3, make some changes now. So now that you have an understanding of your current situation and where you want to be, it's time to start making a few moves. So step 1, and you've probably seen this with a lot of budgeting videos or advice, really step 1 is just to get rid of the services you're no longer using, or, items that are just collecting dust in your garage. Getting rid of these services and items that you're not using, it can help slightly increase your cash position because everything adds up. But really what you're doing is freeing up your time and your focus to start being more intentional with your decisions. And if you have stuff laying around your shop and garage, which I know I sure do, so I'm not completely innocent on all this, but in your heart of hearts you're never going to use it again, but it can't fetch any value for you, just get rid of it. If you can give it away, that's great. Goodwill, Salvation Army, friends, family. But if no one would need it, or it's clearly this thing has seen its better days, toss it. Okay, enough already. Let's get on to step 4. All right, step 4, pay off all of your high interest debt. So if you're carrying a credit card balance each month, that's oftentimes, 15 to 25% interest. It's very important that you do not invest your money. Do not get into the stock market. The only exception to that is if your work has a 401k plan, that's all pre-tax dollars, and a company match, which is fairly common. You could take advantage of the company match up to that amount, because that is tax-free money and it's a lot of free money. And assuming the work has decent, like S&P 500, which is like a broad index fund, low cost options, stick your money into that and do take advantage of the company match. But don't invest beyond that until you get rid of your high interest debt. So the true cost of your credit card debt will probably blow your mind. And let's show an example here. Together a spreadsheet that will help us calculate out these examples to show how much the credit card interest is actually costing over the years. So what this does here is we're saying that there's a $10,000 credit card balance and we're using a rate of 25% interest. So this just calculates it's $2,500 per year that interest costs you on that credit card, which is $208 per month. So this is the $208 as if it was a monthly investment instead of a monthly interest payment towards the credit card. So that $208 invested each month at 10% returned, which is what the S&P 500 index has returned over the last 100 years. So a lot of times you'll use 7 or 8% on projections to be more conservative, but we might as well use the actual amount for this case just to show the opportunity cost. So in 10 years of investing, that $208 monthly contribution would be worth $42,000 in your investment portfolio at 10% over those years. And you can see here in 20 years what it would have become. If you've done this for a long time, since just after high school, and you're into your late 40s, early 50s, you're looking at about $470,000. And after 40 years, which I understand is a long time, it would be $1.3 million. And again, that's only $208 a month. You'll also be investing other money into your 401k or just brokerage accounts in general. And it might sound a little harsh, but if you can't afford to buy something with cash right now, if you don't have the money for it, you can't afford it. It's that simple. Do not buy anything on credit cards. Don't listen to people trying to tell you that that's how you build credit. It's not. That's incorrect. We will address those misconceptions in future videos as well. But the bottom line is, if it's not needed for survival, I'm talking food, shelter, basic human needs, you can't afford it, don't buy it until you can afford it. It's that simple. That's the way to get out of this. Step 5, establish an emergency fund. Okay, so if you're in the world of finances or you've watched a lot of these videos, you probably think I accidentally mixed up step 4 and step 5. You know, I have those backwards. But in reality, the theory is backwards. So most videos you see show that establishing an emergency fund comes before paying off credit cards. That's backwards in reality, because anyone that has credit card debt knows that you're essentially using that as an emergency fund. They're one and the same. So as life happens and these needs come up and you're getting deeper into credit card debt, that's essentially replacing your emergency fund that should have been there in the first place. So I personally think that paying off your credit card and other very high interest debt, let's say double digits and higher, is more important, because it's essentially being used as the same niche as establishing an emergency fund. Now, once you're out of the high interest debt and you do start to save an emergency fund, first of all, congratulations, that's a huge deal and you're well on your way to building wealth. Second of all, I'm not going to say how much money you need in your emergency fund, because that's a matter of opinion and I can't tell you what makes sense in your lifestyle. They say, we say, people think that you need anywhere from 6 to, I've heard like 3 to 12 months, sometimes 24 months. It really depends on how extreme someone is or what position they're in. I would say the bare minimum you need is 3 months worth of expenses saved up in your emergency fund. So if you lost your primary source of income, most likely your job or other income streams, for any reason, say it all went poof tomorrow, you'd want to be able to survive for at least 3 months. I lean more on the 12-month side, but that's personal and it's up to you. All right, I know these aren't the most exciting steps. I totally understand, but once you've knocked these out, and maybe you already have, but if you have, or when you do, you are well on your way to building serious wealth. You really are. This will add up faster than you think it will. All right, I think that about does it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Peace.